So today we're going to break down the difference between, say, traditional homeowners and strategic homeowners, right? Or most homeowners versus strategic homeowners. And so I'm going to kind of walk you through, and as I walk you through each step of it, kind of just help you to, reframe, right? My goal is to help you have a mindset shift between expense thinking and equity thinking, right? So let's talk about the traditional homeowner. And now this is just focused on the insurance side, right? Now this concept of homeowner wealth is diverse in the fact of it can be leveraged through just renovating and being able to leverage other people's money or financing and things like that, as well as being able to pair that with insurance as well. Now, obviously, if you can pair with insurance, that's ideal. Unfortunately, that game is continuing to get harder and harder. So our goal is to kind of help you see from both sides of it. So let's just start with your traditional homeowner, right? So say there's storm damage, roofer comes out, hey, you got damage. Here's kind of how it goes down, right? So they're gonna say, all right, we're gonna get a initial, so they got your roof inspection, so insurance check, you get the roof bought, so you got your insurance. From there, you're probably gonna go and then find a contractor, try to probably get the lowest bid, right? You see a lot of people try to, one, not pay deductibles, and two is saying like, how cheap can I get this done so I can just pocket this money if possible, right? So they're gonna get this insurance check, they're gonna get a cheap roofer, get you a cheap roofer, get it done quick. Get it done quick, and then really it's probably gonna be a $40K loss, right? Because the opportunity to be able to kind of leverage that really goes away. And that's our goal, is to help you, take a second before you just jump in and doing it the traditional way. Now we like to say with a strategic homeowner, right, it's gonna say, all right, we're gonna get this insurance check, but before we cash this insurance check and just move forward, let's look at our financing options. Can we leverage 0% financing? Can we leverage a home equity line of credit, right? There's options out there to be able to explore before just jumping into it. So let's say with this homeowner, they're gonna go ahead and then pair this up with financing. All right, so now they're just saying, all right, we just got $50,000 from insurance, but now we've also been approved for $50,000. So rather than just spending that 50, now you have an opportunity at $100,000, right? It gives you much more flexibility. And I like to say when it comes to this, now you can look at, doing this roof install. But now that next step is saying, hey, is there an opportunity to invest this money? Invest it, or invest in high ROI upgrades. Right, and so now you're saying, all right, so can I take that $50,000 and put that into an insurance policy? Now I can reborrow that again. Can I take that $50,000 and put that into the S&P 500 and play the stock market? Right, there's a lot of options now. The way that you look at your home is saying, through the roof, it can create this catalyst for a capital event that you can turn around and start putting money back in your pocket. That's that homeowner wealth concept. And now here you're looking at a 40K plus a 40K plus equity gain, right? Putting either money in your pocket, putting it in an investment is going to make you more money. Our goal at Columbus Roofing Company is to, one, obviously, we want to focus on, the equity that you have in your home, or the opportunity that you have with this home. The next is going to be protection, obviously, right? We're a good company that want to make sure we install a good roof. But the other one is legacy. Right? Our goal is to just say, hey, don't just worry about today, worry about future, right? If you can put a roof on your house, a bulletproof roof system that's gonna be able to allow your house to be passed down through generations or sustained time, or even say, hey, we get to the point and we wanna finally sell this house. Well, now you've got a good product and you didn't just use that insurance money or use that one-time payment to just put it right back into the house, right? You found out how to leverage that. And so let's talk about to me, it's kind of a mindset shift. Right, it's kind of I would say, expense versus equity thinking, right? Someone with an expense thinking is gonna say, how much does it cost, right? Someone with equity thinking is gonna say, like, what's the value or what's the return? Another's going to be, what the expense side is going to say, how cheap can I get it done and how fast can I get it done? An equity thought's going to be, what's the craftsmanship? What's the credibility of the company doing it? Right? What's my ROI? Right? Is there an opportunity to be educated from, someone that's in that professional space to speak to me on, hey, what if I do siding and add gutters and windows and a roof? Now this one-time payout versus just spending it, now you're able to say, hey, how can I leverage that, to be more efficient? The other side of it to me with the expense side is when you're thinking, how fast can I get it done? How cheap can I get it? You're really leaving that legacy, that future thought out of it, right? Where if you're an equity thinker, you're not just thinking right now, but you're thinking, down the road for, generations to come. And so the biggest mindset shift that I want to help you get across while, looking at this isn't just to say, oh yeah, this is a strategic way to keep money in my pocket. It's not just that, right? Your goal needs to be with anything, especially in today's society. It's unsure. We don't know what's going to happen, right? You need to keep as much money in a bank account as you can, right? One of the worst things I hate to see it is when I see a homeowner that does need a roof and maybe it's not an insurance opportunity and they just want to cut a check cash and pay for it, right? It's like, yeah, your roof is going to provide an ROI and it's going to, increase the home's value. And so, that money isn't necessarily wasted, but at the same time, if you could leverage financing in a way to say, all right, a $20,000 roof with $20,000 in cash today, right out of pocket, that's an immediate $20K loss really, right? Now you're going to get that improved value and such, but what if you could take that same 20,000 and then extend that out over 5, 10, 15 years with low interest payments, ride that right into a refinance or a HELOC. There's a lot of options out there. Why wouldn't you do that, right? People, I think that debt can be a negative term. And I think that debt can be negative, but there's also a lot of ways where debt can be very positive. Because if you can take that 50K or you can save yourself that 20K that you're not going to put on your roof or not going to put on your home and then leverage other people's money, right? If you look at real estate, that's a big term. In real estate, when you find an off-market property, it's dilapidated, but you can look at the area and you say, what's this home's worth when I upgrade it to the market value? Well, that's how real estate people make money, right? And they do it, they don't just pay cash on every job. If they did that, they can only do one at a time, right? They're able to leverage getting $100,000 in financing and putting $20,000 down on this one, $20,000 down on that one, $20,000 down on that one, and then being able to improve the house with those renovations, turn around, and now they create that equity, then pay back those interests, right? Pay back that financing, those loans. And so look at your home like that, like you have the opportunity to really become a real estate investor. And that's what Homeowner Wealth is all about.